When students are free from scrutiny, shame, and fear of failure, they're much better able to try new things and to persist until they succeed. When a teacher is in the role of constant assessment and grading the student, that person is no longer a safe witness. The relationship between student and teacher changes drastically when a teacher is in assessment mode. For this reason, there's great cause to creating learning spaces where teachers are not grading, where there are no stupid questions, where students are welcome to be in their flow state, potentially a play state, however they individually learn best, by engrossing all of their senses to create long lasting memories, rather than feeling self conscious about the impression that they're making or the quality of their performance. Anxiety is identified by Stephen Krashen as a major roadblock to subconscious absorption of language and new ideas. At New College of Florida, top students from around the USA were recruited from IB International Baccalaureate programs and honors programs heavy in advanced placement courses, and they were offered a change from being in a high state of performance, of testing and assessments. In a unique program without grades, they were able to discuss with their faculty sponsor their long term goals and their short term goals, and how the plan they were developing together for each semester would move the student along their trajectory toward their goals. The professor at the end of the semester would write a few paragraphs of information about how they progressed. But in 2023, this university, New College of Florida, like a Montessori school in a state with other giant public universities, this state school experienced a hostile takeover by right wing activists Chris Rufo, Eddie Spears, and Bob Allen, and the Heritage Foundation in partnership with Hillsdale College. They were joined by politicians Richard Corcoran and Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. They claimed to be fighting activism, using activism, a war on a peaceful hippie school with destruction and hatred, a war on woke. Chris Rufo claimed the school needed to be saved, that its hormones needed to be balanced. They brought in the savior, baseball. Yep, they destroyed the nature preserve on the Sarasota Bayfront while the students were away for the summer. They put in a soccer field, even though it's a fire ant habitat of biting ants. And then they watched the field flood in the next hurricane. The ancient slash pines that stabilized the land and were studied by students for decades, they were gone, despite being donated by the neighborhood as a gift who gave this bayfront land and promised that the university would keep it as a nature preserve. But the new administration was very busy. They fired all the black women on campus, they fired the black landscapers, they fired the female president, selected a year prior with great fanfare and community support. They threatened students who resisted the changes. They threatened with lawsuits and expulsion. The students just transferred to other schools, and 60% of the professors left too. And now they're instituting grades. In August 2025, the new leaders of New College are changing the major attractor to the school, making the classrooms and professor partnerships just as non educative as everywhere else.